Let's talk about the different types of installment loans. So an installment loan is a type of loan that's paid off with regular equal payments. So think like if you were paying off a car, then you would pay regular monthly payments on your car loan. An annual percentage rate, abbreviated APR, is the interest rate that would be charged if your loan was one full year. Okay. The total installment cost is the total money paid. So this is all your down payment plus any payments you make times how many payments you're going to make. A finance charge is another way to say your interest charges. So it's the difference between the total money you pay and the cash price. The amount financed is another way to say the amount you're going to borrow from the bank. So it's the cash price minus the money you put down that day. So whatever's left, you're going to have to finance with the bank. An approximate APR is calculated, and they will use the word approximate if they want you to use this formula, is 24 times the finance charge. And in the denominator, you have the amount financed times one more than the total number of payments. One last formula that we will use in this section is calculating the APR using a table. To do that, there's two steps. The first is to calculate finance charge times 100 in the numerator, and then divide by the amount financed. And then you're going to use that step one calculation to look into a table. Let's get started. Question 1 says, find the total installment cost. And remember, total installment cost is just a way to say the total money paid. And then we're also going to find the finance charge for this loan. Okay, so the total money paid is any down payment, and in this case, there's no down payment, plus the amount paid from all the payments. So there are 12 individual payments, and each payment is $15. So in this case, just taking the 12 times 15 is a total of $180 for the total installment cost. To find the finance charge, it's the difference between the cash price and the total money that someone paid. You could also call this an interest payment. So it's the total paid, 180, minus the cash price, if you went in and paid cash that day and didn't have to put money on a credit card or borrow money from a bank. And that was the finance charge. Question 2, find the total installment cost and the finance charge for this situation. So for the total paid, the total installment cost, that's our down payment, plus there were 60 individual payments of $136 each. So that's $380 for the down payment, plus $8,160 whenever we've made all 136, when we paid 60 payments of $136 each, for a total of $8,540. To find the finance charge, that's the difference between the total paid, which was the $8,540 we just calculated, minus the cash price. And the cash price was given to us as $6,768. And so we find that a finance charge of $1,772 was charged because you didn't pay in full on the first day. Find the approximate APR using the approximate APR formula. So to remind you of that formula, the approximate APR is going to be 24 times the finance charge in the numerator, and our denominator is the amount financed me erase that and make sure you can read that handwriting. Times 1 plus the number of payments. So let's work on the numerator first. 24 times, and the finance charge was given us as $275. And in the denominator, the amount financed was $4,500. And then 1 plus the number of payments, I'm going to go ahead and simplify that. If the number of payments was 60, 1 plus the number of payments would be 61. Calculating the numerator, I get 6,600. Calculating the denominator, I get 274,500. Now that I have a single numerator and a single denominator, let's divide, and I get 0.0240 and a few more decimal places. Let me change to a percent. So I get 2.40%. And if I round to the nearest tenth of a percent right here, the 0 next to it says to keep that the same. So 2.4%. Let's take a look at number 4. So now we're going to use the APR table. Our amount financed, our finance charge, and number of payments are given. So to use the APR table, the formula was given in step 1. And step 1 says take that finance charge times 100, and you're going to divide by the amount financed. So again, let's simplify that numerator. The finance charge of $1,237.22 times 100 is going to give us $123,722. The amount financed was given as $4,690. If we divide, I get a decimal of 26.37995736. And we're going to look in the table. Now I have the table here to the right. What you're going to need to know is you're going to need to know the number of payments. So over here on the right, I'm going to look down to the 48 payments, and I'm going to try to find a number as close to the 26.37 that we had from our calculation. So I'm going to keep going over. So I have 26.4, and I have 26.99, and I have 25.8. It looks like 26.4 is the closest. So if I follow that up, I'm at 12%. So 12% is what the table gave us. Let's take a look at number 5. Pat bought a Toyota Corolla for $20,800, including taxes and license. She made a down payment of $2,000 and agreed to make 50 payments of $472 each. Find the amount financed. So the amount financed is the amount borrowed from the bank. So if the car is $20,800, but she made a down payment of $2,000, so if she already paid the $2,000, she doesn't have to borrow that from the bank. So that means that $18,800 was borrowed from the bank. Find the total installment cost. Now remember, the total installment cost is the total paid altogether. So that's the $2,000 down payment that was paid, plus there were 50 payments, and each payment was $472. So that gives us a $2,000 down payment, plus all the payments together totaled $23,600. Altogether, that's $25,600. And that's the total paid, or the total installment cost. Find the total interest. This is also called the finance charge. So the interest is the difference in total paid and cash price. So we just calculated the total paid, and the cash price was the $20,800. And that gives us a total of $4,800 for the finance charge, or the interest. Now let's go to Part D and use the table to find the APR. Notice they didn't say approximate, so if they're not saying approximate, use the APR table. Okay, so to find the table, we're going to take the finance charge times 100 and divide by the amount financed, and then look in the table. So we said our finance charge was $4,800, multiplying by 100, I get $480,000. Our amount financed was $18,800. So that gives me 25.53191489. And now we're going to look in the table. Keep in mind, when we look in the table, we need to remember that there were, in this case, 50 payments. And we're looking for a number close to this decimal that we just got. So looking at our 50 payments, here in the bottom row, I'm trying to get close to 25.53. So I see 25.1 and 25.7. So 25.5 is about 0.4 away from this one, and 25.5 is about 0.2 away from this one. So this one's a little bit closer. And I get 11.25%. And that's everything for section 12.2.